Hello everybody, thank you for taking the time to watch this really short video about the Hooke Court residential coming up in February next year. Okay, I hope this will answer some of your questions about it, but if after seeing this video you still feel there's something you want to ask or something that's worrying you, please don't hesitate to contact one of the Year 4 staff and they'll be more than happy to help you out. The Year 4 residential takes place next year from the 8th to the 10th of February 2023, that's a Wednesday to a Friday. Hooke Court is located in rural Dorset between Dorchester and Yeovil. Okay, so really peaceful, idyllic setting, perfect for residential. Okay, they're used to catering for our school. They're used to catering for school of our size and number of children we'll be taking. And it's because it's so peaceful, it's not intimidating, it's not loud, it's not too big, so children feel overwhelmed. And we think it's a perfect setting for younger children who may not be used to staying away from home. Okay, we've been running residentials here for years. They know the school well, we know the staff well. We had one last year, it went very well indeed. So it helps us with the planning and we're confident this one will also be a success. The big thing about residentials, we appreciate probably the biggest anxiety for parents or children is the sleeping arrangements. Okay, because normally this is when we start to get a few children feeling a bit homesick, or before we go in the run-up, maybe feeling a bit anxious about the trip. Children sleep in rooms similar to the picture you can see there. The rooms are either, they're bunk beds with either 2, 4, 6, 8, or even 10 beds per room, depending on the accommodation block we've been given. And whilst there are other schools there, no one else outside of our school will be in our accommodation block. Okay, so it will just be for us. Okay, so the whole corridor will be children and staff from Winston Primary School. Okay, the beds themselves, of course, are single sex. The corridor will have a mixture of staff spaced out down the corridors so that children have always got someone close by. And we will make sure that the first thing we do when we get there and the children are settling into their new rooms is we show them where we're based. We show them where the staff room is, and we show them where the teachers are and the teaching assistants are in relation to their rooms, so if they need anything in the night, they know where to turn to. Okay, so it's a big part of it. The rooms are nice, they're comfy, and the children often, this ends up being one of the highlights, of course, is spending the night and having sleepover with your really good friends. So please reassure them, okay, that there will always be someone looking out for them, will always be there on duty, and there'll always be a door you can knock on, no matter which hour of the night they need to ask an urgent question. Now, in terms of who they share rooms with, they will have a say with that. Okay, so nearer the time, when we know who's going, we'll sort out rooms. So the children will know before they go whose room they're going to be in with, and they have a say. Okay, we're not going to, children won't be able to choose all of their roommates because it's just not manageable, but there'll be at least someone in their room they are really close with and who they're happy to share a room with. So it usually works out quite nicely, and by the end of it, they've made good friends with the rest of their room. So the itinerary, this is still ongoing. It's still too early to set it in stone, but we do know this. The children will arrive into school on Wednesday, the 8th of February, as per normal. Okay, that's exactly the same. You don't obviously wear your school uniform. You wear the clothes you want to wear on the residential, but you come to school at normal time, drop off to the classroom at normal time. Okay, there'll be places to put your bags and things which will signpost on the day. But the first hour or so of school is pretty normal. Okay, we'll spend the time just checking we've got everything and making sure everybody's here. So for parents and for adults, it's very easy. You drop them off at the time you normally would. Okay, don't worry about remembering all this. We'll let you know near the time as well. There'll be letters going out as well. And the coach takes us about 10:30 from school. It takes us about an hour and a half to get there, depending on traffic. And then we should get there around lunchtime on Wednesday. After settling in, we straight away begin an afternoon of activities. Thursday, full day of activities on site, and Friday morning is full days of activity as well until lunchtime. At lunchtime, we have our lunch, we pack our stuff, and then we head off. We aim to get back to school at the end of the day on Friday the 10th. So again, it shouldn't impact you because you would normally be picking them up on the 10th at the same time. So we aim to make it as least disruptive for parents as possible. So hopefully, if all goes to plan, you'll drop them off at normal time on Wednesday and you'll pick them up at normal time on Friday, again, from their normal classroom. If we're going to be 10 minutes late because of traffic, then I hope you can appreciate we won't send out masses of texts to parents. But if we're going to be significantly late because of traffic, then we will let you know as soon as we do. Okay. That's the rough itinerary. It's a busy one. Okay, it's an exhausting one. But the children tend to get a lot from it, and of course, it gives them the weekend to recover. The activities. This is something we are still talking to Hooke Court about. Okay. They will keep your child busy. It is action-packed. There's lots organised, and they're done with experts in mind. Okay, so it will be centred around ancient Egypt because that was one of our big topics. It's one of the big areas of the curriculum focus for history in Year 4. And there's a day of activities based on ancient Egypt. Okay, immersion experiences, arts and crafts, painting, etc. And there will be a chance to probably dress up as Egyptians. Again, we'll tell you more about this later on. There's evening activities. So after the busy full day, after they've had dinner, they will do an evening activity, okay, which often involves campfires or den building and things like that. And that's often the highlight for many children, is going out back into nature after dark to do something like that. So it's really exciting. The whole area is based on physical outdoor activities. Okay, not everything is outdoors, a lot of it is indoors, but a lot of the activities and a lot of time children will spend outdoors accessing things to the curriculum which we can't provide them in school. So there's lots of science-based work, lots of history-based work with the idea this enriches their learning in school. We're going to finalise activities near the time, but activities like Egypt immersion sessions and the campfire, etc., will certainly be on there. And the idea of these activities really are, apart from the education side of things, is to build up things like independence, life skills, resilience, teamwork, all the things which we hope children will get from them. And these all happen led by experts in between your meal times. Okay, so they have breakfast, they have an activity, they have lunch, they have an activity, they have dinner, they have an activity. And teachers and TAs there are there to support rather than lead. And we'll organise them into groups near the time, groups of about 8 children, for example. So it's quite a nice adult ratio. Okay, big questions on what to bring. Okay, it's always a key question. We will send out a detailed kit list in advance. Okay, so please, again, don't worry about making note of all these details. Okay, rest assured there's nothing specialist on this equipment. Okay, it's just the kind of things you'd probably expect to bring. Key thing is clothing. It's the most important thing. We're going in February. Okay, we're lucky last year we had quite mild weather. It did rain for a few hours on one of the days, but it could be anything. Okay, and we will still be going outside in those situations. Okay, so warm layers, waterproof layers, all really key. Okay, please make sure your child has plenty of those. Different choice of footwear also key. You know, it can be really disheartening if they have one pair of shoes on the first day they get soaked and they don't dry properly. They're going to be wearing wet shoes for the rest of the trip. Depending on the activity, we may ask you to bring wellies, but we'll let you know that nearer the time. So lots of footwear, lots of layers to cater for all weathers, but coats, all those kind of things. Okay. Light entertainment is also really important. Books, colouring, small board games, pack of cards. These are all really good options and really popular in the rooms when your child wants a bit of downtime in the evening and just wants something to do to take their mind off the residential and just so they can have a bit of time with their friends. So anything that's easy to pack in their bags like books or card games, we really encourage. Just as key is probably what not to bring. I hope you can understand we cannot accommodate phones under any circumstances. Your child may feel homesick. They may feel they're missing back home. Having a phone will just make this so much worse. But for us, really, it's a safeguarding issue. It's, you know, we can't have children with their phones in their bedrooms at night, and it's impossible for staff to monitor up to 120 mobile phones during the day. They're expensive. You know, we don't want them getting lost or children worrying about them. But the primary reason, of course, is safeguarding concern. So we can't accept any mobile phones or electronic devices. Okay, so no sort of handheld video game devices, for example, things like that. We just can't take. No smartwatches, nothing like that. No iPads. if anything, if nothing else, it's just a great experience for children to switch off from the online world and have a nice chance to be back in nature and back doing activities which some children may have never done before. In fact, we had a lot of children last year who are used to spending a lot of time online, said how nice it was to have a break. So I think that's a really key. And from your point of view, please don't pack anything you see as their best clothes, because it might be fine, but if it is muddy, if it is wet, the chance is going to get a bit ragged and a bit dirty. So please don't send them out in their best shoes and best outfits, because we don't want them getting damaged or lost. But as I say, a full kit list will come, so please don't worry yet about knowing every item you need to bring. Medical and emergencies. If your child has medicine, okay, we'll have a separate form near the time to complete. Teachers have first aid kits. Okay, there'll be first aiders on site, and we'll be supervising them at all times. And we will also supervise all the medicine. So even if your child has a mild sickness allergy, travel sickness allergy, and takes a sickness travel pill, to the most serious of conditions that require EpiPens, teachers will take charge of these. Okay, so on the day, please make sure, and again, we'll send this out in a letter, please make sure they're labelled in a separate bag. Please don't put them in your child's bag, because we need to make a list and collect all the medicine in. And we'll make a list of when they need the medicine and how often to take it, etc., which we'll have a couple TAs sorting that out for you on the morning. Okay. If your child's got a healthcare plan and already got EpiPens and long-term medication in school, we will take that with us. Okay. And we'll return any medication we don't use after you get back. So please try not to worry too much about that. I know it's a big concern, but it's usually very, very manageable. Communication. Okay. This is probably a key thing for you as well. We will provide you with emergency numbers. Okay. The staff and the site. Please only use this for emergencies. And please understand why we won't be able to facilitate phone calls home. It's just counterproductive. They're there to learn to be independent. They're there to immerse themselves in this experience. And not only is it impossible to organise all the children calling home, but it does make things like homesickness a lot worse. Okay, they are in safe hands. We will contact you if there's any emergency or any healthcare plan. So the other thing is, please make sure your contact details are up to date with the school, because that's the list we'll be taking with us on the trip. Okay. Staff have been on this residential before. Okay, your child is safe. Okay, and we will make sure we look after them. So no news essentially is good news. We do blogs, okay, which Mr. Targetti updates daily. So when they're on the residential, there will be blog updates provided the internet works. There will be blog updates on the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which you can see the activities. Again, we can't get all the children in all the blogs, but you can get a taste of what they're up to and a taste of the experiences they're enjoying. Okay, and that's really the basis of this conversation. I'm sure you will have little questions which you want to talk about, which hopefully you'll be able to speak to a teacher or myself on the school gate. Okay, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. Kit lists, medicine lists, etc. we'll hand out nearer the time. We'll be talking this information through with the children nearer the time as well, so they feel more reassured, but hopefully it's giving you a taster of what it's like. It really is a good experience. The children really do enjoy it, and on their reports, it's often the thing they talk about the most is how much they enjoyed Hooke Court. So if you are able to send your child, we really recommend it, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Thanks a lot.